Welcome to a Purple Chips web update. I'm John Schwinghammer, the author of Purple Chips, published by John Wiley & Sons and available everywhere. Now, I'd like to switch to our disclaimer, and if you can just pause your screen and have a read through that, then I won't have to read it to you. Thank you very much. Now, today's update is I'm giving a general market update for September 20th, 2012. What we've got coming up is basically the November 6th elections in the U.S., which will create some uncertainty in the markets and gives me a little bit of reason for concern given that valuations are so high right now. This does not mean that the stock market will have a big correction, but it does mean that we could have a little bit of a pullback before we move higher. As we said in the previous few updates, we did see a lot of valuations on many of our purple chip stocks moving up, which was a very good sign because for the last 10 years or so we've been in a steady decline. So this is an indication that the market is looking much more positive and that we are emerging from the current bear market. Now, let's talk about some of the stocks that we've been looking at. Here are the key points. Basically, so watch out for those elections. They could cause some uncertainty. Let's look at OpenText, Home Capital Group, Barrick, and in the top 25 U.S. stocks, Teva, Oracle, Aflac, and we'll also discuss Global Payments, Joy Global, and Towers Watson, which we picked up just a few days ago. So first, let's move on to OpenText. I'll just change this chart here just a minute. So here we have OpenText. As you know, OpenText is a case where we had a valuation reset, and we decided that when the stock did go down here, this was in fact a valuation reset because the earnings line was at the lowest point we'd seen in a long time. So we had a chance to get out over here. We did sell it, and now we're out of the position. So enough of that one. Let's move on to Home Capital Group. And in Home Capital Group, this one is going very well. In the case of Home Capital, this is a top 10 purple chip on the TSX. And we did buy this one. We picked it up in this period right here when it was in the low 40s. And we're currently at $52. Our target is, in fact, somewhere in the 56 zone. So that's what the earnings per share curve would look like if it was up there, which you can see is basically on the high end of this this little peak here that we're seeing. And when we bought it, of course, we were down here. So that was a good thing. I'm glad that's going well. And then we've also got Barrick. Just a minute. I'm going to switch the chart here. We're going to go to Barrick. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible since we have a lot of ground to cover. Barrick we had bought at 39. We bought it right around here, and the stock has since moved up. We actually bought it, this little bar back here, and then the stock moved down, and then the stock moved up, and now we're trading just under $42. And we expect Barrick to reach somewhere. We think it can get somewhere up in the 50s. So we should be okay on that. Next, we have, we'll move on to the top 25 U.S. stocks. Let's go over to Teva. Teva hasn't been moving much, and just a moment, there you go. It has not been moving much, and we're still in a holding pattern. We figure the stock is a low valuation anywhere under 42. So we think that anything under this level here is a good deal. Historically, that looks very cheap. And what we're expecting is that Teva will eventually make its way up to something like this, which would be in the high 50s or possibly even higher. So we saw a similar situation with Gilead some time ago, and I'll just show you very quickly what that looks like and how that evolved. In the case of Gilead, you had the stock basically, the earnings curve was down like this, and the stock looked very cheap, and then boom, what do you know? The stock went straight up and is now, in the space of the last 12 months, is basically about 50% higher, a little more than 50% higher than where it was. So that's a pretty interesting opportunity, and we think the same thing may occur in TIVA. In the case of Oracle, we are long Oracle. We're doing very well on it because we bought Oracle right around these levels here. So we picked it up, I think it was around 26 or 28 or something like that. Now we're at 32. We think Oracle could get up. A lot of the tech stocks are doing better, so we're expecting the high end of the zone to be somewhere above 36. So that should be just fine. So some patience required there. On the case of Aflac, Aflac is already up 20% from where we picked it up. We bought Aflac under 42, like that, and we expect that Aflac, given that the current range there, we think that Aflac could get somewhere up in the high 50s. So again, we have to be patient and wait for the opportunities to come to us. Global Payments we bought not too long ago. That has started to move up, and we paid in the low 40s. It's currently trading around 43.60. We don't see any reason why, with a higher valuation, it can't get in the low 50s. So we stay the course with that one. In the case of Joy Global, we are finally making a little bit of money on this stock. Our entry point is in the mid-50s. That's where we identified a low valuation. And currently the stock is around 61. And we think that in this case, this is a very similar stock to something like Caterpillar, and it's very possible that it could, get up in this zone up here. So I would expect the stock to get up there. It might take 12 months. So again, you have to be very patient. You have to let the opportunities come to you. That's our usual mantra. Now, Towers Watson, we just bought the other day. A lot of people didn't like Towers Watson, and now it's starting to pick up, and it doesn't look too bad now. So we bought Towers Watson around here. The stock is now, actually we bought it at 54. The stock is now at 56. And what we expect is that at some point you're going to see Towers Watson get into the mid-60s. So that's a wrap up for today. I'm John Schwinghammer, the author of Purple Chips, and thank you for watching.